If you're reading this, odds are I'm already gone, and you're experiencing the same thing I was. All I have for you is one piece of advice. Do not open the door. It sounds cliche, but once you hear my story, you'll understand. It started with me heading to the bar with some friends. We're all having a good time, drinking and hollering at every pretty woman we saw. Eventually we got too rowdy, and they kicked us out, leaving us to stumble our way home. I had to get home soon anyway. My cat doesn't feed himself after all. I still had to take a wake up from the bar, which I had taken sips from. Looking back now, not getting a lid for it was the dumbest thing I've ever done. I was stumbling back home when all of a sudden I saw a figure at the end of the street. They were standing just outside of the streetlights so that I could not make out their appearance. My eyes struggled to focus on the mysterious figure, and suddenly they walked into the light, revealing a well-dressed man. He wore a plain brown suit and tie, brown dress pants, and black dress shoes. Finally being able to see him, I relaxed and continued to press on home. I noticed how the man also began to walk so that we were heading towards each other. The sound of his shoes against the pavement was almost deafening, even from this distance. Each one of his footfalls made my head pound, making me stumble more and more. When we were within mere feet of each other, each step sent my world into chaos and misery. As we passed, I finally lost my footing and fell directly into him, my whiskey spilling all over his fine clothes. I hit the ground hard. I stared up at the dark sky, watching the stars twinkle like diamonds up above. And then another view came into my vision. The man was staring down at me, fiery glow in his eyes and a look of pure malice on his face. As his eyes met mine, an icy chill coursed through my body. I could feel something awful emanating from him as his eyes stared deeper into mine. This man was seemingly cursing me with all his might. Then I blinked. I was in bed. The sun was shining through my window and the clock read 9:30 a.m. I wiped the sleep from my eyes and looked around confused. My cat, Beef, sat at the foot of my bed, grumpy that he had not been fed yet. But all I could think about was the man I had seen last night. I could still see, no, feel his eyes staring into mine. That chill that I had felt still resonated within me, and that awful energy radiating off of him seemed to still linger in the air. Nevertheless, I had chores to do and a cat to feed. I got up and walked into the kitchen, opened the cabinets, and poured some food in the Beef's bowl. And that's when I heard it. A tap on the window behind me, just loud enough to be heard. I wheeled around, startling Beef. I expected to see the man there, still staring at me, but there was nothing. And that was just the beginning. Over the next few weeks, small things began to happen, be it a tap on the window or a knock at my door. Eventually, just when I began to question my own sanity, the voices began, always speaking behind a door that I was near to. Whenever I went to open the door, some primal sense in me told me not to, so I had to resist the temptation. At first, they were speaking in unintelligible gibberish, but with each passing encounter, their words and voices began to form. They had the voices of everyone I loved. My parents, my grandparents, my brother and my sister, my aunts and my uncles, and so many more. They tortured me for weeks, screaming and begging pleading for me to just open the door and let them in. And they all had a different reason for me to let them in. "I'm hurt," my mother screamed. "There's someone chasing me," my brother yelled in desperation. "The house is on fire," my father cried. "It's so cold out," my sister hauntingly stated. And then one day, a new voice joined the symphony of horror. It was my own voice. It joined in with the others, now demanding that I open the door, ordering me to just let them in. As I write this now, I can't take it anymore. They're at my bedroom door. I'm just gonna open it. I need to end this misery.